how do I grow even when my husband's not growing? What do I do in that situation? And you're catching me today at a little bit of a somber moment. And I'm just going to be really real and see where the spirit guides us today. But I'm excited you guys are here. At the end of this, I will be doing a couple divine feminine card pulls for those of you who are here and who want a more personalized message about what you next need in your journey of intimacy. Let me just pull this up. So you guys, I think more than anything, we want permission to fly, don't we? We want to know that there's space for us to be as big as we feel called to be and have the intimacy of our dreams, have that relationship that can sustain that growth. I mean, ultimately, we want a relationship where we're both growing. I know that's what we all want, right? So, but through this training today, I'm going to share with you guys a couple of pitfalls to avoid when it comes to this, and how absolutely possible it is for us to be able to shine fully. And so if this resonates with you, type shine in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. I'd love to hear where you're watching from. Okay, so give me just a minute to get connected here. I just got some big family news and it's got me really reflective today. Just found out one of my family members has stage 4 cancer. And it's not looking very good. And I learned a lot from this particular individual. And I thought a lot about the marriage that this person was in. And it's a pretty common marriage that I see among a lot of older people. It seems like over time, we get impulses to do things, to grow, to build things together. But maybe we share a little here and there and it's not received the way that we want. And so we close that part off. And then we try this or that and it's maybe not received as well as we want. And we close that part off until we either end in divorce or we end up in a relationship where we're both just surviving, where we're each other's comfort in the sense of dependability and security, but not romantically, not deeply, not really connectedly. And I feel a lot of gratitude to these family members, because I think that seeing that dynamic is what, at a young age lit the fire inside of me to not want that for my relationship. We see that all the time, don't we? Complacent relationships. Type in the comments if you know some people who are in complacent relationships. Just type complacent relationships. You know some people who are in these complacent relationships. And And people will come up to me and they'll say, oh, how many years were you married? Like strangers in the grocery store kind of a thing, right? And my husband and I are going to be having our 14th anniversary this weekend, which is so exciting. And it absolutely is worth celebrating. But it's not the full picture, right? So I say 14 years, and people always say, congratulations. And that's very sweet. I love that. But I also know that the duration of the marriage does not tell anyone anything about the quality of the relationship. And in the end, when it's all said and done, I just know I want to look back on my life and say, I did things I felt I was supposed to do. I helped people. I followed my dreams. I followed my heart. And I can see that effect. I used my life to the fullest, you know? That matters so much to me. If you're here, does that matter to you too? I'm guessing it does, because that's part of why you're attracted to my message. That's why you're here in this group. There's a million other intimacy coaches out there that you could be listening to right now, but you're here in this group because some part of you resonates with that, with this connection to purpose and how it's all intertwined, right? Because our marriage is a huge part of our existence. So it's either going to bolster us and move us toward our dreams or not. It's either going to, be utilized as the growth opportunity that it's meant to be or not. And so that's where my thoughts are today. And forgive me for I don't need to ask for forgiveness, but I will anyway. Forgive me for being kind of nonlinear in my thoughts today. Here's what I want to do is I've been talking about this topic for this whole week. I've been having a lot of discussions with women about this topic, which is actually really, really relevant. It's on a lot of people's hearts and minds right now. How do I grow? Even if my husband's not growing, or even if my husband's not really supporting my growth. And the first place that our mind turns to is, in order for this to work, my husband has to what? I'm going to read to you word for word some of the things that women have shared. Your husband needs to be growing alongside you, stride for stride. Your husband needs to have his own interest and passion so that they can see your elevation as a reflection of the unit, not a threat. Your husband needs to share in the same values. Your husband needs to never feel threatened. Your husband needs to be the male version of you. Your husband needs to have a love of a similar energy. Your husband needs to be on the same path. Your husband needs to be given clear expectations, boundaries, accountability, and communication from both sides in order for this to work. And finally, the cliche, you have to grow together or else you'll grow apart. And I think there's little tiny pieces of truth inside of these, but most of them contain mostly untruth, guys. So let's break this down a little bit and ask yourself, what things have I been thinking? Expectations have I put on our marriage that I feel like I have to see these things in my husband in order for this to work? Be thinking to yourself. And if you want to share in the comments, feel free. Even if you're watching on replay, feel free to share in the comments. If there's something that you're kind of thinking or you recognize you've been thinking or saying that you want to add to this comment. But our husbands do not need to be growing alongside us stride for stride or be on the same page, or be growing together with you, or to even be on the same part of the path. None of that is realistic. And in my coaching, I'll share a little tool with you that I share with my clients, particularly my marriage clients. This idea that in life, if we use this canoe analogy, in life, it's like we are plopped into a canoe, right? And we're pretty much paddling uphill. That's life, in your canoe paddling uphill. And then you get married, and what we assume is that means your partner climbed into your canoe with you and you're paddling together, right? But that's false. We are not paddling together in the same canoe. What has happened is you've both entered the same stream. You have some similar interests. You have some similar goals. Hopefully there's enough similar interests and goals at the end of this uphill climb that it feels like, okay, this makes sense. We're doing this together. We're in the same stream. But at any given time, does it not make sense that somebody's going to get tired and lag behind? Somebody's going to get a boost of energy and jet ahead. And then, now let's make it more real, right? Somebody gets a disability and boom, the canoes have switched. Somebody gets depression, boom, the canoes have switched. Somebody jets out ahead and calls in $1 million business in 1 year, and holy crap, this other person's like, I'm trying to keep up, right? This stuff is real. This is what happens, and it's completely unrealistic to think that we're going to be side by side. And maybe this sounds redundant. Maybe you're thinking, of course, duh, we can't be at the same point in the path. But seriously, then why do we expect that of our relationships? And why do we worry so much about it when it's not the case? Particularly, why do we slow down our own canoe because we think we have to stay connected? We don't. We don't have to do that. And a lot of the other ones I said are all super false. Super false. The one that was my favorite was, the male version of me. Oh dear. I used to feel that way. I really did. And now I'm like, oh, that would not be good. Like, my husband balances me out in some beautiful ways. That would not be good. Anybody relate? Like, oh man, if it was me and me in a relationship, it would not be good. Okay. So there's a couple others, but I'll spare going into the details on the rest of those. And let me just check our comments here and see what you guys are sharing here. Oh, hi, Cindy. Yeah, you got to hear a bit of this yesterday. I'm glad you're joining us. Awesome, Lindsay, learning healthy boundaries. And I think my expectations are off. And what I want to say about boundaries. So this, one of these things I read, we need clear expectations, boundaries, and accountability and communication on both sides. That to me sounds like a militaristic rule. That does not sound like the breeding ground of a beautiful relationship, right? So boundaries are great, and I think they're a little like tool that sort of gets us initially opening the door and getting us into the habit of defining what's working for us and what's not working for us, what we're willing to do in our lives in general and what we're not willing to do. But boundaries can be a real slippery slope where the next thing you know, you're saying things like, if you don't this, then you're this. Like, and that is not like, that's not healthy, right? Clear expectations, boundaries, accountability. I was like, oh yeah. And you know why I raised my eyebrows at that is because that used to be me. That totally used to be me. Oh man. I remember at one point, we're maybe 4 years into marriage or something, I brought this list to my husband and I was like, look, buddy. And it had things like, we need a savings for our kids' braces. And until you have that, you're not, we're not going to have a good relationship. It had some other pretty, like, important things like, until we have a will written out, I'm tired of nagging you about it. Like, until we have a will written out, we're not going to have a good relationship. Like, it was this whole list of things like that. Oh boy. Yeah, we still joke about how I did that. And it did get some things done, but it also created a lot of damage that then needed mending later on. So instead, my encouragement would be to approach that from a space of agreements. Figure out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And the things that aren't working for you, go and get agreements about that. Don't just tell somebody. Ask for their agreement about what they can and can't agree to. Anyway, okay, yeah. Same path and goals. Yep, that's right, Cindy. Yeah, we don't. I actually do love the values thing. We share the same values, but again, that can be a slippery slope, right? Like maybe we belong to the same church when we first got married, and one person has made decisions to go another direction. Does that mean the marriage is over? No. But those are our values, right? It does not mean the marriage has to be over. So it's getting to the core of what you deeply value. It's doing this inner intimacy work to figure out what those values are and if those align, right? Does that make sense? Can you kind of see how that too can be a slippery slope? It's like, it's no wonder there's so much confusion when we're trying to navigate our relationships, because there's so many stereotypes and misinformation out there. It's hard to navigate. So where do I want to go next with this? I think that the most feminine and beautiful space we can be in when we know we're truly ready for growth is to literally own all the ways that you have actually held yourself back due to fear in your marriage. Due to fear, right? So, and again, guilty here. I would grow and progress, and then I would look over my shoulder, and my husband, I'm going to use the word seemingly, was not growing. Seemingly, because I have learned since that time, my perspective is not the only perspective. So I would look over my shoulder and think, and then I would use him as the reason why I couldn't continue to progress. But the real reasons, let's get really real here. This is where you're going to grow. Let's get really real. What are the real reasons you're not pursuing your dreams? Fear of being alone. Huge one. Fear of the responsibility that may fall on your shoulders if you do step in. Fear of needing to be held accountable. Fear of expectations being put on you. Fear that maybe you're not good enough to do all the things that you want to do. All this stuff, right? These are the real reasons, okay? And as you face these fearlessly, look at these things. Look at really the reasons why you hold yourself back, or you choose to play small, or you choose not to use your voice, not to use your power. Look at those reasons, grow through those reasons. And I'm not here to tell you that your husband is also not contributing to this situation, because I had no idea. Maybe you're watching this and your husband is abusive, physically, mentally, verbally. I have no idea, right? So I'm not here to say your husband is not contributing in any way to discomfort that you're experiencing. But when you get clear and self-responsible here, truly see in here, it's going to become very clear to you where his role starts and stops, and if this relationship is a good fit for you or not, right? More often than not, I see that husbands will rise to the occasion. They get excited. One of the favorite things that one of my clients said to me recently is, an excited, enthralled, purposeful me is better for everyone. That is a truth. I'm going to make a sign out of it that says an excited, enthralled, purposeful me is better for everyone. So it's up to me to choose those things, right? Nobody else. It's nobody else's responsibility to find out what excites me, what makes me enthralled, what makes me feel deeply connected to purpose. That's all up to me. It's my sacred journey on this earth, right? That's your sacred journey on this earth. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. Not your kids, not your husband, nobody else, you. Okay? Oh, beautiful, Brenda. Fear of hurting the other person. That's right, right? Oh, if I grow, then what? Then what? Okay, so you guys, the number one key that I want to give you today is this awareness. Get aware about what's actually holding you back. What are those messages? Because they're not true, right? And you can handle it. You can navigate, unintentionally hurting people as you grow, as you go along your way, because that's the kind of person you are. You love people, you connect with people. You can navigate that. And it's beautiful and it's good, it's wonderful, but we have to get aware first, right? We have to be willing. And I think that I want to circle back around and just as a reminder, stay to the end if you want a Divine Feminine card pull. Maybe doing that at the end to give you a personalized message. But I want to circle back around to my family member who is very likely approaching his deathbed. And I don't believe anything doesn't happen for a reason. Everything happens exactly as it's supposed to. I don't believe that their life has been a waste. Their marriage, I don't believe their marriage has been a waste. I've spent probably more time than I should admit wondering if their love was real, because they stayed and stayed, but it was about this comfort. It was about this dependability, predictability. And so I've spent a lot of time, because I'm a nerd about intimacy, wondering, was their love real when you stay for that long? And I look at him and I look at her and I see their anguish and their concern as he goes through this. And I know that their love was real. And I think that's even sadder, because we can have this love, right? But never get to experience the fruits of it. Never get to really feel deeply seen and held and known, not in this life at least. What they have is something that's really solid and amazing, but never getting to taste of the fruits of that, because they're too scared, they're too guarded, they've been hurt too many times, criticized too many times. So the distance and the complacency has grown and grown and grown. And we can choose that path. We can. But as a client recently shared with me, it's like death before death. Not feeling that deep connection that we could be feeling and experiencing, that deep, true, pure intimacy. And it's time, right? The time is now. We can do something about this now. We're not on our deathbed. And so we can learn from this and say, what's not working right now? And how can I shake things up? How can I really step into my truth? Be my radiance. Take up all the space that I need. Be too big sometimes. And still deeply connect in my relationships. All right, my friends, if this is resonating with you, I want to encourage you to get onto a call with me. I'll put that right here in the comments. a quick 15-minute call. And here's what this will do for you. Sarah said, this is my dad and stepmom. So what this call will do for you is, obviously I can hear exactly what it is that you're facing. Specifically, what are the details? What are the caveats when you're listening to me and you're thinking, well, yeah, but in my situation, that's what this is going to give you. So take some time, hop on a call with me. If we haven't done a call before, this is the time for you. Book that little call, 15 minutes, and we'll navigate what those next steps are for you, whether it's some resources that I know about, or whether it's the potential of us working together. And I'm happy to help you navigate this. You guys, you're here, you're in this group, you're showing up every week. I can see you. I see those of you who are here showing up all the time because you're trying to fight for your marriage. And it's inspiring and it's amazing. You're doing a good job. And you can have more, okay? All right. Okay, if you want a divine feminine card pull, type divine in the comments. I'll stay on for another 10 minutes until 12:50 or less if nobody wants one. But I'll stay on for that amount of time to do these card pulls. I'm happy to do this for you guys. So fun. This little card deck is it has a bunch of like feminine archetypes ranging from people in the scriptures, like the Bible and stuff, to Hindu goddesses, to Greek mythological goddesses, to people who were just really awesome. Oh, that's so funny. I was just going to say like Joan of Arc, and then I shuffle it, and I pulled up, look what I pulled up. I was literally just about to say people who have lived on this earth who are awesome, like Joan of Arc, and there she is. Joan of Arc, you guys, like I have a place in my heart for her. She's one of my favorite people who ever lived. I just love. If you guys haven't read or heard very much about her story, there's an amazing documentary that the BYU channel did about her. And it's like non-denominational, just a really beautiful approach. And it like interviews people from different backgrounds and different faiths about her life, and pulling quotes about what she said about her connection to her angels and stuff. And then she was able to go like lead this army. She's just one of my favorite people. I mean, how amazing. She just did what nobody could do. It's so cool and so obvious that she was led by God. It's just amazing to me. Like, absolutely talk about being connected to your purpose. And she was burned at the stake by 16, I think, for speaking her truth and whatever, and yet lived a full, millions of lifetimes more than I think some of us live in terms of her purpose and all that. Okay, here we go. Joan of Arc is my fave. Yeah, Lindsay. Okay, here we go. Oh, fun. Okay, try to see the first one. Nilsara, hi. Oh, I'm glad you're on here. Okay, let's set an intention here. So these card pulls are going to be what you most need to do next to step into your dreams and vision and create the intimacy of your dreams at the same time. So both, like purpose and intimacy. That's what we're going to do. We're going to set purpose and intimacy. So what does Nilsara most need? And this is, oh my gosh, I just sent you a boxer all about divine feminine stuff. So if you haven't listened yet, Nilsara. Okay, what does Nilsara most need to step in purpose and intimacy? Okay, Catherine Laborde is who I pulled. And it says, the patroness of miraculous healing. I am ready to heal. I am worthy of the miracles meant for me. This is super cool. So my sense is there's something something in your experience of life that has been nagging at you, that's still kind of holding you back from being in full out possibilities in both your purpose, which is your business, right? And whatever else entails is entailed in your purpose, and in your intimacy with your somewhat new love, right? So this card is calling you to heal. I am ready to heal. I'm worthy of the miracles meant for me. And what I look at this as is a direct message from God, the universe, your angels saying it's time. Like it's totally ready to be released. It's time. It's not time to think about it or work on it or try anymore. It's time to actually heal and experience that shift and change for yourself. How cool is that? I'd love to hear if that resonates with you, Nilzara. Anything you're willing to share with us about your personal story in the comments would uplift everyone involved, I know. Okay. Let's go to Sarah. Purpose and intimacy. We got Marguerite Porete. Oh, yeah, okay. I remember this one. The mystic of divine love. Love, the affirmation for this is love is divine and I am nothing except love. Love is divine and I am nothing except love. Wow. So if I can take some liberties to share a little bit, because I know about you, I know stuff about you. I think that it's like there's a separation between, let me see if I can articulate this in the way I'm seeing it. Like all the minutia, all the grind of like household chores and the demands of being a young mother and having young children and all of the like the clutter, the things that all the things that you feel are this this burden or whatever, you feel like those separate you from God or from your truth or from your femininity or from your who you really are as a child of God, as a divine being. And they're not, because love is divine and I am nothing except love. It is all love. The clutter is love. The sickness, the colds, they're love. The scratches and boo-boos and tears, it's all love. All of it. Okay, I hope that resonates. Again, love for you to share anything in the comments that you feel you can share. And I hope it was okay for me to share a little bit about you. Okay, Lindsay. Purpose and intimacy. Fatima. This is so interesting. A lot of these are like I super just shuffled. You guys watched me shuffle several times, but these are ones that I've seen really recently. Okay, Lindsay. It says the mother of imams, Fatima. Okay, so it says the affirmation is love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. Love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. To you and your energy. Love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. I'm actually like kind of, I'm like having a hard time connecting to like what this is for you. It's interesting. Maybe you know. Do you know? Love is my lineage. I wonder what imams, the mother of imams, IMAMS. We should Google her. You know what? Maybe we need to look her up in the book. I don't usually do this on these card pulls for sake of time, but that's what I'm feeling I need to do. So let's do it. 60. An imam is a leader in the Islamic faith. Fatima is considered to be the mother of the imams because of the love and gratitude she gave to her family. There are many stories about her devotion and the unfaltering love she provided in order to protect them. She never failed to defend what was sacred to her. It is said that Fatima stood up to Muhammad's successor, Abu Bakr, because she didn't feel he was honoring her father's legacy in the way he had hoped. She lived with great stability because she knew that her love for her family gave her a solid foundation, identity, and clarity of purpose. Ooh, okay. When your soul selects a card, we can get caught up in the ego's idea of who we need to become or of what we need to achieve. Fatima is the grace that sweeps through the seemingly complex lives and reminds us of what's core, what's solid earth to the soul. Family, even if family means a few beloved friends. What matters most is the love and gratitude we bring to those who are there for us. Okay, so there's that. Again, I'd love to hear if that resonates with you, my dear. What, Sarah? Really? Did you draw the one that I drew for you? Healing. Yeah, that's beautiful, Nilzara. Okay, I'll do one more for Julie, and then we'll wrap up for today. It's 12:50, but that's okay. Purpose and intimacy. Machig Labdron, the diamond-hearted Dakini. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Ooh, I love this. I've never seen this card before. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. Well, hello. Is that not what we just talked about? Did my whole training resonate with you? Because that's pretty much exactly what this card is telling you to do. I see the light in my own darkness. I love that. So my question for you is, how have I avoided my shadow, and how is it an integral part of my wholeness? You can come back and rewatch this if you want, but how have I avoided my shadow, and how is it an integral part of my wholeness? That's my question for you, to take that to your journaling or whatever you want to do with it. So fun. Isn't this fun, you guys? Just change it up a little bit, right? I love these, and they're so beautiful, and they get you to that next step, right? Very clear next step. And I'd love to hear what happens if you follow the encouragement that you received in these cards. Love to hear what happens. But I also want to encourage you that one card pull is not the answer to all the things that are happening in your intimacy world. So I want to bring us back again to that call. If this has spoken to your heart and pricked your heart, and we haven't gotten on a call together, let's do it now. What do you have to lose? Actually, you have everything to lose. Is this your marriage we're talking about? This is everything. Is it not? Your intimacy, your spark, your purpose, your connection. It's everything. It's everything. Thank you guys for being willing to be with me on this journey. And I know timing is everything, but literally 5 minutes before I went live is when I got the phone call about the prognosis and what he actually has and all of that stuff. So I just know everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to show up like this today. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.